Welcome Trinidad and Tobago to our News 4 report for this Good Friday, April 6, 2012. I'm Nicola Barito. Let's take a look at the headlines. Minister of the People says greater attention to be paid to the needs of differently abled persons in the society. We hear about plans by the Education Ministry to deal with school violence. And in our sport feature, we continue our look at the country's hopefuls for the London Olympics. And now to our top story. The Ministry of the People and Social Development has come in for high praise from beneficiaries of several programs that the ministry has initiated in the Caroni Central area. And Parliamentary Representative and Minister of the People and Social Development, the Honourable Dr. Glenn Ramadasing, is promising that greater attention will be paid to the needs of the differently abled in society.
Persons with disabilities now have a better chance at life here in Trinidad and Tobago, thanks to some of the latest initiatives rolled out by the Ministry of the People and Social Development. One of the projects brought on stream by the ministry is the URP Assistance and Training Program, where parents of children living with cerebral palsy now have a chance to be trained as caretakers while gainfully employed under the ministry's program. Since its inception last year, several regional offices have opened across the nation, providing assistance, training and care to families with persons living with cerebral palsy. President of the Cerebral Palsy Parents Association, Crystal Jones, spoke on the success of the program since its initiation last year.
This caretakers program has allowed over 100 mothers to be gainfully employed and at the same time take their children to therapy sessions. We have 15 regional officers in Trinidad and Tobago who are mothers of children with cerebral palsy, and their role is to seek within their environs to find other parents who have children with cerebral palsy so they can get the same assistance like them. The caretakers will now assist parents whose children have cerebral palsy at the various homes. And these parents are now going to take a course via the URP program. They are now going to be given a course where they will have a more sustainable income in their household.
Many participants took the opportunity to say thanks when Social Development Minister Dr. Glenn Ramadasing visited the Caroni Central District. One elderly man expressed his gratitude for the caretaker provided to him by the ministry.
Through this ministry and the services give me nice courage to go on living and not to do things to show frustration. And this is how nice it is. I want to believe I have the best nose I could ever find. I have the best nose I could ever find. And this is many, many thanks to all the nice people in this island, more so my ministry and Minister of Social Welfare.
Minister of the People and Social Development, Dr. Glenn Ramadasing, said he took pride in being able to serve the people this way, as this was what his ministry was all about.
We in this ministry celebrate with you because we believe that we must fight for the downtrodden. We must lift up the oppressed, and we must stand in defense of the persecuted.
Earlier this year, the minister announced plans to construct a $1 million center for disabled persons in central Trinidad. John Victor, News 4.
When we come back, the Education Ministry moves to address school violence. Stay with us.
To get ready. It begins with you and me. One you, one me, one home. Oh country, get ready. It begins with you and me. Storms and rain, cause hurricane season is coming. So let's come together and help you
A message from the Ministry of National Security, Office of Disaster Preparedness and Management.
Welcome back. Government is taking steps to address the issue of school bullying and several other areas of concern within the education sector. The announcement of a character-building education and citizenry program to be introduced into the education system was made by Education Minister Dr. Tim Gopi Singh, who expressed great confidence in the initiative.
In light of a notable rise in school violence and bullying, among other areas of concern within the school system, government has implemented a new program to bring redress to the situation. Education Minister Dr. Tim Gopi Singh assures that this national character, education and citizenry program will make a difference in the lives of students.
One such initiative is the introduction of a national character education and citizenry development program. I'm just giving you the basic areas now, but you will be hearing more about it later on in another formal manner. A citizenry development program in schools from early childhood care and education level to secondary school level. So we're moving through from ECCE to primary school to secondary school.
Education Minister Dr. Tim Gopi Singh is revealing that the new measures have been adopted by government to tackle the increased incidence of bullying in schools. He adds that schools in the United States have found the initiative to be quite successful in boosting pupils' self-esteem and creating peace in the education system, while also instilling core values and character traits for success.
The ministry has studied the success of the implementation of this program in the United States, where a number of schools throughout the width of the United States have now implemented this program. And I just returned from Ohio about 2 weeks ago, where we had a 4-day workshop on conflict management and conflict resolution and peace studies, where a number of universities are now teaching these programs, and a number of the schools throughout the United States are adopting a number of programs almost similar to this.
Introductory etiquette and social skills development, personal responsibility, social skills, and emotional growth are some of the areas which are expected to be addressed in the program. With an improvement to these areas, students are expected to lead more successful lives. Veena Bharath, News 4.
With the opening of Phase 1 of the Scarborough Hospital, Health Minister Dr. Fuad Khan is assuring citizens that all their medical needs will be met upon full commissioning of the health facility on the island. The Health Minister gave the assurance as he addressed a ceremony for the commissioning of the first phase of the hospital. Kimberly Ramkalawan has more.
Health Minister Dr. Fuad Khan is assuring the people of Tobago that every effort is being made to provide them with the best health care on the island. The minister, addressing those gathered at the opening of Phase 1 of Scarborough Hospital, located in Signal Hill, said government was looking at ensuring all medical services are provided on the island, removing the need for Tobagonians to travel to Trinidad for treatments.
It's a combined effect. It's a combined effect of every single person putting their shoulders to the grind wheel and moving forward. And we do hope in the future to have MRI services, specialist cardiac services, cardiology services, neurosurgical services, ENT services, and after I'm finished, I'll be giving you some urological services.
Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly, Orville London, said Tobagonians needed to understand the process of getting the hospital completed.
We cannot overestimate the importance of this facility to the people of Tobago. But I think, ladies and gentlemen, that because the facility is so important to the people of Tobago, and because the expectation of the people of Tobago is so high, it is very important that the people of Tobago are made to understand what they're getting.
While construction of several sections of the hospital remain ongoing, Minister Khan said it was a systemic approach that was facilitating the functioning of the hospital.
the maternity ward is ready to open, the pediatric ward is ready to open, and the other wards are ready to open. The mortuary is already going to be in use. And then after all that has taken place, the operating theatres will be done. Once the operating theatres are being used, then we could open our accident and emergency unit, because you must have operating theatre facilities for emergency services. So that is the phased approach we're going to use.
The opening of this first phase is said to also include a pharmacy, mortuary, building maintenance systems, emergency, as well as laboratory supplies and instruments for sterilization. Kimberly Ramkalawan, News 4.
When News 4 continues, the fashion sector is targeted in government's diversification thrust. Stay with us.
Hey, you ever wonder what it takes to become a lifeguard? Well, you must have at least a secondary school education. You must be fit and able to lift your own body weight or at least 100 pounds. Of course, you must be able to swim and pass an evaluation. Once you can do that, you then enter the 5-month training program where you will be taught self-survival skills, casualty recognition, rescue skills, first aid and CPR, and search and rescue patterns. Upon completion, you would then receive the Award of Merit, where you would then be absorbed into the 2-year on-the-job training program. There you would learn identifying currents, marking them with flags, report writing, assisting in rescues, administering oxygen to casualties, crowd management, and lifeguard communications. Everything's okay. Okay?
Thank you for staying with us. The fashion industry is one of the areas targeted for greater attention in government's diversification program. This from Minister of Planning and the Economy, Dr. The Honorable Bo Tiwari. Dr. Tiwari says the sector holds a lot of potential for development. John Victor tells us more.
Despite recent oil and gas discoveries and the energy sector being still the country's major revenue earner, government is still pushing ahead with its diversification of the local economy. One of the areas receiving attention is the fashion industry, according to Minister of Planning and Economy, Dr. Bo Tiwari.
That one of the things that we're working with is with the fashion sector in Trinidad and Tobago, in collaboration with the Ministry of Trade and Industry, but we've got the fashion sector to unite and to bring a body together to work on a project in October for the fashion industry, for Fashion Week. And we are going to work with them. We have some discussions to take place, and we're going to work on that. Now, Anya Ayongchi said recently that she cannot get people in Trinidad and Tobago to sew. Now, one of the things about the creative industries and industries such as this is that we can begin the process of teaching and training people who are linked to industry, that are then linked to markets, and then that are linked to buyers outside.
Those linkages, the minister notes, is what will help to create a viable industry that can impact national festivals like Carnival. The planning minister sought to create a nexus between national days and festivals and the creative industries.
Because in this thing, I find culture is an important element. You need to understand where the culture is and what can be done with the culture as it is. I think that is the success of Carnival. Carnival is successful because it meets the culture where it is, and you still get high productivity, and you still meet your deadlines, and you still have design. And I think what we need to do is to try and find how we can meet the culture where it is and cause the culture to evolve and to learn and to be more productive in the creative process.
Minister Tawari says important economic linkages exist among sport, culture, and the creative industries.
We are working on a particular project, on this 50th anniversary project with Marshall Montano. And we hope that out of that we are going to tie in with the Olympic athletes who are going to London. So we are going to link the music and the culture to the sport. And we're going to try and work together to find creative ways to do that. All right? Because we've got to, the name of the game now is how you connect. You have to connect things. You have to connect with the world. You have to connect in the country. You have to connect the dots, so to speak, in order to create new possibilities. And we are going to do whatever is required.
The local fashion industry will host a major event in October. John Victor, News 4.
In our sports segment, Emmanuel Carter and Jehu Gordon are two of the nation's elite prospects for the upcoming Summer Olympics in London. They are currently fine-tuning their preparations for the Games under the watchful eyes of coach Ian Hippolyte. News 4 caught up with Dr. Hippolyte as he took them and their Memphis Pioneers teammates through some paces. Wayne Cunningham has the story.
As the Games of the 30th Olympiad beckons, elite athletes such as 2008 Olympic silver medalist Emmanuel Callender and 400-meter hurdles hopeful Jehu Gordon are at an intense stage of their preparation. Their coach, Dr. Ian Hippolyte, told us exactly what is required at this time.
Well, at this point in time, they're getting ready for their competitive season. There have been some local competitions. Both of them are getting prepared for the international competitive season. That entails many facets of work, including event-specific endurance and speed. So they're just getting into that now.
Both athletes are on pace with their programs ahead of London 2012, despite the limited time Coach Hippolyte has with Callender.
Emmanuel Callender has spent a portion of time outside in Jamaica doing some build-up training, and he's just come back. So essentially, I'm just getting used to him. Jehu Gordon has been under my charge and has gone through what I would consider to be a fairly successful period of conditioning. We're still there, and I'm quite satisfied with his build-up so far.
We caught up with hurdler Jehu Gordon between reps, and he was also satisfied with his work to date.
As you can see today, my coach and I were working assiduously to just bring out the best of me at the right time. Training is going really well. It's really intense right now, and things are looking good coming on up towards the Olympics. Well, we're still in the early stage of the Olympics. Right now, we're just concentrated on training, making sure that we work on all my weaknesses, and hopefully we aim and look forward for the best for me and also for the whole Trinidad contingent.
Coach Hippolyte, who is also Vice President of the National Association of Athletics Administrations, is confident that both trackmen will be ready for the Olympics.
Time between now and the Olympics, do you think you have enough time to work with them and get them
Absolutely.
fit and ready?
Absolutely.
Wayne Cunningham, News 4 Sports.
After the break, the school's music curriculum to be expanded.
Celebrating 42 years on national television, the longest-running locally produced television talent competition, Mastana Bahar, is right here on GISL TV4. Join us here on GISL TV4 every Saturday evening from 5 p.m., Sunday mornings from 11 a.m., and on Thursday evenings from 9 p.m. for the best in local entertainment on the People's Program, Mastana Bahar, right here on GISL TV4, celebrating our people, our culture.
There's a spark of greatness in each of us. That spark is called personality. Individual gifts and talents provide the fuel to set that spark ablaze. Each child has the right to an education which values their personality and nurtures their talents, while teaching them to be respectful to their parents and their cultures.
The music syllabus in Trinidad and Tobago will be expanded to include a wider range of instruments. This according to Education Minister Dr. the Honorable Tim Gopi Singh, who made the announcement at a post-cabinet briefing. Verna Barth tells us more.
Education Minister Dr. Tim Gopi Singh is revealing that the music curriculum at schools in Trinidad and Tobago will be widely expanded. Speaking at a post-cabinet briefing, Dr. Gopi Singh announced that government has agreed to provide schools in this country with a wider range of musical instruments to add to the school's music curriculum.
The current Pan in the Classroom unit will be transformed to effect expansion of the music education program in primary schools, and it will be now referred as the Multicultural Music Program Unit to reflect the repurposing of its activities. Schools will be given a choice of musical instruments such as what exists now, the steel pan ensemble, guitar, quattro, African drum set, dholak, harmonium, tabla, tassa drum, xylophone, the whole range of musical instruments, harmonium, and non-melodic percussion instruments as well.
The Education Minister says government will hire music instructors where necessary. He also gave an update on the Pan in the Classroom project.
The employment on contract of the undermentioned staff in the Pan in the Classroom project of the Ministry of Education for a further period of 6 months, with effect from the date of assumption of duty on the same terms and conditions applicable to the existing contracts, in order to ensure the continuity of the current music program and its associated activities. That is 1 project coordinator, 8 regional coordinators, and 35 music instructors. They are going to go on for 6 more months. Meanwhile, we are now going to work with the employment on contract of staff in the Visual and Performing Arts unit.
Meanwhile, Dr. Gopi Singh says a special committee has been appointed to overlook scholarships that cater to special needs. He adds that a lot more emphasis will be paid to the development of centers which cater for children with special needs in this country.
So we are looking at possibly 5,000 students per year coming through the system who need attention. And we are moving swiftly to providing the centers, the infrastructure, the financial resources to deal with this, and also the human resource component of it. 1, by identifying skilled personnel from within the system, and then training people, nationals, to fill these positions as much as we need.
Verna Barth, News 4.
And that's how we wrap up this edition of News 4 for this Good Friday. Thank you so much for being with us. And here's an invitation to join us every weekday at 6:30. I'm Nicola Barito. Goodbye.